Garry kind of noticed me, because it was really hard not to notice me on Twitter. I was making a lot of noise. We got accepted to the badge.
Today on the Lobster Talks, I'm joined by Robert from Stormy AI, the company turning the AI influencer marketing from a manual grind and hell into an automated AI process. We're going to go into that. We're just fresh off demo day. It's just a couple days ago. And Robert, thank you for being here. I'm happy to have you here.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here. I would love to chat more about Stormy, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're excited. So first of all, before we even start, demo day was less than 48 hours ago.
Yes.
Take us behind the scenes. Tell me how it was. I know because I was there. You signed some investors right there. Tell me, how was your experience there?
Yeah, I mean, the demos day is like the peak of the intensity of the batch, where you have like a lot of VCs who are outreaching to you. You're talking to all of them, you're talking to the angels on the go, and you're just showing that your vibe is right, and the investors would like to put their money in you, not even your company, but rather you. And one of the guys was actually just like, he really liked what I'm doing, he really liked my energy, and it was like, listen, I think it all makes sense, I want to chip in, I'm ready for 10K, just send me the details over the email right now. And I did, and like in over 30 minutes, he just signed it, and he borrowed the money like the same day.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
It's closed. It's in the account.
Yeah.
That's so cool. It's something very interesting that you just said. It's demo day, and now that it's in person, it's not the Zoom remote. People almost invest as much in you as in your company. And so there's, of course, a lot of different personalities and energies, but if you're that type of person, you clearly are, I am. I would say to future YC founders, just bring your A game, bring your energy, because people are going to invest in you, right?
Correct. Yeah, I feel like this time I didn't go that much. There is like another component which can help a lot with the fundraising, is that if you're really viral on social media and you're just posting a lot of stuff about your product, how was your journey, whatever like Cluely and Arlan are doing from the NIA. So this is like very cool strategy to do this. I didn't do this time, but I had this done before, and it really like helps a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the two hacks of YC. YC in itself is a hack. If you get to YC, you're good. But the other hack on top is either super high energy, people like you for you, or you can actually do both. Just document everything on social media. Arlan is a good example that everyone knows him.
Yeah.
He closed a very oversubscribed round.
Oh, yes.
Just because, he was relentless and he was sharing day in and day out. How do you do that and still do the work? Is that, not distracting you?
Oh, it completely distracted me. I think I missed a lot of customer support and queries, and it was not very cool. But I have a great team of engineers who are working with me, and they basically managed to handle all this. And I was like, hey guys, here's a bug, please fix it. I don't have time to even open the cursor. Please check it out.
Do it. Awesome. Okay, well, thanks for sharing the demo day experience. Let's take a step back and let's just tell us who you are and what Stormy's building. What are you excited about this?
Yes. My name is Robert, and I've been working in tech since I was basically 15 years old. I've been working in AI since 2017, and I was like doing those like super old-fashioned Coursera courses for the deep learning, machine learning, Andrew, NG, etc. And basically, I really enjoyed this atmosphere of like startups and grinding and like talking to customers and moving fast. So my career was really attached to this kind of segment. And I started working with startups, and I continued working with them. And at some point I was like, okay, I think I have enough skills to start my own thing. And I started posting stuff on Twitter. I made a lot of viral demos specifically for local language models. And this is how I kicked off my career. So if you remember on the Twitter, there was like a viral kind of template for the video where someone is showing objects to the camera and the AI tells, what does it see? So I was the first person on the internet who actually created this demo. So I created like November 2023 with the model was called Baklava. It was local model, you used Llama CPP. You had to hack some GitHub repository stuff and launch on your GPU. And I was the first one to make it work. And it got like almost 500,000 views.
Wow.
And all the people like Andrew Karpathy was like, holy shit, this is crazy. Llama CPP guy reposted me. So it was going like this, and I just doubled down on this trend. And at some point, basically, Garry kind of noticed me, because it was really hard not to notice me on Twitter. I was making a lot of noise, and we got accepted to the badge. He like invited me, and I was like, yeah, local models are very cool. Let's continue working with this.
To double click on that. It's not the first time I hear you didn't apply to YC. They invited you.
Kind of.
I mean, you have to go through the application, but they say, hey,
of course,
you should. You know, the first one, I think it's the founders of OnLook who went crazy viral on GitHub. So again, many people are watching these because YC founders, they want to sort of see how they can do it themselves, how to go on the journey. So if you build something cool and if you get noticed online, then YC often be like, hey, wink, wink. Maybe you should apply. We'd like to have you.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, they don't explicitly say apply, but they can say, hey, maybe you'll be interested to try Y Combinator. Maybe it's a good fit for you. Yeah. So you kind of like, you see, okay, maybe it's a good idea to apply.
And that was your first application?
I think it was my second application.
Still pretty good.
The first one was basic. Yeah. For the first one, I didn't follow up. So they didn't know, but like the second one I followed up correctly and they remembered to check me out.
Congrats. Okay. And so did you apply? What did you apply with? Because that's very different from Stormy. Yeah.
So it was like, it was this kind of spectrum of ideas where you remember everything you're doing on your local computer. So you open Slack in the morning, you have a meeting with someone, and it all kinds of is in the memory of the AI. So it's like something like a rewind AI. If you remember this tool, it kind of remembers everything you see on your computer. And next time you say, hey, how should I reply here? It is going to understand that you're looking right now at the email and previously you looked at the Slack and you had a meeting before and it's going to use all of this in the context. Yeah. So the main word of my whole startup was the context, context collection.
That's how you make AI smart.
Exactly. Well, there is a couple of problems there, and I don't think it's a great idea. And I'm a little bit bearish on the Cluely kind of spectrum of ideas because I kind of explored it. And it wasn't, I wouldn't describe it as a hair on fire problem. You know, like people don't necessarily search for these kind of solutions. It's not like it hurts them so badly. Yeah. They're looking for it. But it's a cool thing to try out. And this is why there's a lot of hype there, because it sounds cool. What if AI has all of your context? Yeah. In practice, there is too many tricky questions. And the answer is usually that ChatGPT covers 80% of the use cases. And I'm like, okay, 80%, not good enough to build $1 billion company out there. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not interested in like anything less than $1 billion. I'm like, I only want to shoot for the moon.
Of course, especially at YC, but even like, well, anyway, it's hard enough to build a company. We agree. You should shoot for something big. Okay, and so, but this is what you got accepted at YC with, though.
Yes.
That's what you started to build.
Yeah, that was my first kind of iteration.
And then when did you, was it during the batch that you realized, okay, this is not working out? And you pivoted mid-batch, actually at the end of the batch, right?
At the end of the batch, yes.
But what's interesting is that was the previous batch. Yeah. And you deferred and delayed. How did this, so why did you choose to do that? And of course, it seems it's worked out because now you've back, at Demo Day with a much stronger product. Is YC really happy with that or against it, or they don't care? Tell me.
Yeah, of course, it's like not a good idea to defer. In my case, my visa was rejected, so I wasn't physically present at the last batch, so I kind of missed all of it. And
even your like tourist visa for the
everything. So ESTA was rejected, B1 visa was rejected, O1 visa was rejected, and then I kind of made it approved. Yeah.
But so did you go through the previous batch from a distance, or you just couldn't do it and you just did the batch again this time?
Yes, so I had a co-founder who kind of did this, and then we basically split up. We had different interests, and I continued working on the company. He continued working on his really deep tech project, and he's right now raised a very cool round. And,
nice. Okay. And so you kind of did YC twice already, but once from a distance.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I think I'm in 3 YC Slacks. Wow. Because I was almost expecting the visa to be like done next week, and then the embassy just ghosted me.
Oh wow.
And then they ghosted me for 6 more months, and like 4 months ago, I just finally got it approved.
That sucks. Yeah.
And I got it over. Yep.
Okay. And so now you were here for the entire batch.
Correct.
And you decided to. So you did everything again. Did you? So let's go to the pivot. When did you pivot? End of last batch?
Yes, it was like the beginning, yeah.
Okay. And you pivot to Stormy?
I pivoted to ideas similar to Stormy. I started to explore this, and I think like around January, February, I kind of realized, okay, this is the thing. People need this. They're ready to pay for this money. I got some pilots running, and I was like, okay, I'm going to double down on this one and see how far it can go.
How do you go from the, making AI smart with context to influencer marketing?
Yeah. So I just basically was like, okay, I have to change something and I have to move to a different segment. And I want to see what is in the different segment. And then I just explored the problems I had before. And the problems I had before, because I built a consumer app And my previous startup is called FixKI. It's like a macOS Grammarly alternative. And basically the problem I had is that I hired a person to do the influencer marketing for us. And it felt really weird because it wasn't that high IQ job. Like you don't need necessarily someone with a specialized skills to do this. And usually when you see something like this, it means that there is something which can be automated with AI. Because if it's like less than 100 IQ, it means that probably AI will be able to automate it now or in less than a year.
Yeah, for sure.
And basically started to investigate this. And a lot of my friends are in B2C segments. And I talked to them and like, yes, we also hire a person from India to do this. And I was like, okay, that's very interesting. Let's see if I can automate this. And I started going deeper into the problem. And I figured out that there is like this solution which can automate how people do this kind of job, how they do this process. And I just went basically as deep as it takes to get in order to solve the problem. And basically here we are with the Stormy as it is.
Wow, that's crazy. That's a great reminder for founders out there. Again, looking at this, it's so often a good idea to look at what problems you've had in the past.
Yep.
And then if you're just getting started and you don't have any problems, you're a student or whatever, just start building something.
Yeah.
And many times you see people building something, and what is going to be the company is not what they start building. Is when they started this first thing, there's a bunch of roadblocks they encounter, a bunch of problems, and then they're going to go out and solve this.
Exactly. I think there is two really interesting thoughts. First is that I kind of always want to have a hunch of what you want to build, and you want to follow the hunch. You don't want to have a whiteboard and throw stuff at the wall and just see if something sticks. It's better always to have this like internal feeling that, oh, I think I know a secret here. Oh, I think I know this is really cool, and I'm the only best person to solve this. And I know this is true, but everyone else, this is actually false. You know, some secret, you know. And this is one thing. And another, I feel like I want to stick that you always want to have this like as internal feeling. And I think like talking to customers doesn't necessarily even help sometimes because it can get you even more confused in some senses. You know, you want to call your shots. This is my approach. Paul Graham tells you should talk to customers and figure out what they want, but I feel you should call it out.
It's true up to an extent, right? It's like it can get you confused as well. This Henry Ford quote: "Customer can choose any color car as long as it's black." You know, if I asked the customers, they would ask me for faster horses. And you know, so that's a debate we've been having a lot. Just before I forget, I want to invite all the listeners to subscribe to the channel because I always forget, so I have the note here. If it's not already done, leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. You can turn on the notification bell. Also check out my solo channel. You can just type my name in the YouTube search bar, and I sometimes do videos alone as well. Not sometimes, every week. Okay, so what's the moment where you realize? So it is pretty manual. It is pretty simple. When do you realize it can be fully automated? Because there's still a lot of things, like for example, the one of the best things you're doing is actually finding the relevant influencers for that campaign. That's not that easy for an AI to do, to really understand who are the relevant, and how do you do that? When do you realize, okay, it does work, I can actually have a product that's doing end to end?
Yeah, it was a lot of prompt engineering to make it work and make it feel like it's doing some magic in the background. It's just getting the feeling what is right, what the customers expect, testing it on my previous products, testing it on my friends' products, and seeing how they do this now and what does the AI suggest, and basically optimizing the prompts for this. And it took like a lot of time to actually figure this out. And I feel like the moment I realized this could be fully automated is when it started sending the emails and negotiating with people for me. So there was like a story where I sent an email to a person, like a real influencer, and I forgot to basically allow, AI never stopped negotiating. So it's still like, it sends as many emails as it wanted to. And the person was like, okay, $150 works for me. And the AI was like, yeah, sure, send me your PayPal. And I didn't prompt it. It just continued negotiating because I didn't set the limitations. And at some point in time, it confirmed that it sent the transaction. It agreed on some call for me without me even like asking. So it went kind of rogue. And I was like, wait, that's very interesting. It can actually go really, really, really far. It can pay. I mean, supposedly it didn't pay, of course. It can pay, it can schedule a call. It can do all of those steps for me without me even knowing this. And I was like, that's actually pretty crazy.
That's
like I don't need to do anything. Yeah. Like I can just set this up in the background and it's gonna basically outreach to the people. And again, I should just check my email every now and then. And that felt like, wow, interesting.
It's almost an accident. I just kept, oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. So walk us through, for everyone, maybe, hopefully there's some customers here listening. How does it work? You just plug it, as I understand it, and it does everything. That's what you described.
Yeah.
Then it just tells you, send the product to the influencer if you need to. The rest is automated. Yeah.
So at the moment, there is a couple of more manual steps because it's built from scratch and it's built kind of for professionals right now. It's like the best search engine where you can describe, okay, find me people from Harvard who are studying computer science, or find me people from Berlin who are talking about fashion. And you can go really deep. Find me male from Berlin who is talking about fashion and maybe like some fashion brand specifically.
And doesn't have more than 100K followers or something like that.
For example, a lot of our customers actually searching for niche. So for example, less than 10,000 followers or less than 5,000 followers.
Wow.
And Stormy is like the best search engine to do this. And you do this, you see the results, you select them, you find their emails, and then with another click, you can just basically negotiate with all of them. So you send an email and AI starts like the whole process. So for you,
it's a different, if you're a bigger or a smaller influencer, it's going to negotiate accordingly, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. And it's like, it's almost like a click, click, click. And you're like, oh, okay, cool, this works. Getting back to work.
And at some point you can pay as well. At some point you can have a set of things that you want the influencer to say. The AI is going to check if the work is corresponds to what you want. Like you're all going to automate everything away, right?
Exactly. So it checks whether the video is correct, whether the content is right, whether it's male, female, like all of those deals you can specify in the prompt. So it does a lot of the automations for you.
That's crazy. And so there's no human in the loop in negotiating anymore. You set your rules and your parameters, and that's it. It's just going to negotiate everything for you.
Yeah, at the moment we have some human in the loop because you still need like the payments. You still need to actually check whether this person is a good one. As a human, the last step. But the main like friction usually comes when you need to like do this at scale, and you need to find like hundreds of those people every single day, like the marketing agencies do. And for Randall, basically, they only take over as the last step. Then someone already set the price, then someone already mentioned something, and basically it's like a last step overtake.
And of course, it's about building trust with the tool. But when you know the tool does it well, you don't even need the human intervention anymore. You're like, okay, I know this works. Let me just let them run with it, right?
Yeah, something like this.
What have you measured in terms of time saved of, for agencies? They used to have people doing this full time.
Yeah.
They can just remove an entire person, like fire or hopefully have them do something else.
Yeah.
But it's like an entire full-time job per agency, sometimes several full-time jobs, right?
Yeah, they actually have people scrolling full-time. That's literally what they did. They have people scrolling full-time
just to
TikTok.
Find the right... That's crazy.
Yeah, that's really less than 100 IQ job. And this is what they pay for. This is actually, you can build a pretty large company out of this. Wow. Even without AI, just like by selling this to other people because so many people need this. And for them, they can focus on other things. They can focus on actually figuring out what is the best video for a creator, figuring out the payment, and having bigger throughput for the whole system, having more clients. So this is like the idea of what we want to bring to them.
It's crazy. I mean, talk about job displacement. I mean, either they get fired or hopefully they do something else. Do you see a shift happening right now in influencer marketing? Because you're, on top of automating all of that, how is influencer marketing in itself evolving right now, in your opinion?
I think there is a lot of stuff happening with just people hiring creators full time, creating content for them. Wow. Like Cluely is doing this, Omi, the guy Nick is doing this. They basically have like creators who are full-time creating content for their brands. Wow. And this is like a very common strategy because, you have like 30 pieces of content generated for you, let's say daily. You post them on TikTok, they get some views, some of them may get viral, etc. And if you like have this like almost like a fabric, like almost like an army of creators working for you. This is like one of the interesting shifts. Another interesting shift is like AI UGC. Like where you can actually generate humans.
That's where I wanted to get to.
Because I feel like the influencers definitely experience that some of their content looks so bad, like real people content looks so bad, AI is going to do much better job. And I feel like market is definitely shifting there slowly because like the VO3 is definitely not there yet. But at some point in time, AI UGC is definitely coming. Like, I see already brands experimenting with this a lot.
And so that's exactly what I wanted to talk about. Several questions, but the one that I'm dying to ask you, that I've been really wanting to ask you all along is, does it make sense, you think, for Stormy AI at some point to just have your own AI influencers? You can probably, you're a tech company, you can probably spin up hundreds, if not thousands of them, and that's just what you sell. Instead of actually finding other humans, you're like, we have all the influencers you need. Is this the end game for you?
Yes, this is what they're thinking of doing. This is exactly our plan. Because long term, we think that you will not feel a difference whether your UGC content has been created by AI or a human. That there is like a point there that you kind of still want the audience of the real human who has been developing this audience for years.
Yeah.
So in this case, you still want the influencer who has been there and people trust his face. But you can still like do a lot of things with this. You can maybe use his face in your video.
But is it worth it for you? For example, let's say there's a lot of influencer marketing happening in, I'll take makeup. Randomly, it's a big space. There's a lot of content, and there's a lot of companies who want to pay for makeup. So is it worth it for a company like you, or for someone else, for someone here who's, I know people out there are already doing it, but maybe for a company like yours, to just say, well, we're going to build over the years a makeup influencer, completely AI generated. And then every time we have a customer, because you're going to have the data, you're going to say, well, 20% of everything we do is makeup maybe, and so we're going to develop that ourselves. We can just sell our own service. Basically, you go full stack, or you go direct.
Exactly. I feel it will definitely make sense. Not sure how far it can scale, but what I can see is that the brands can create their own AI influencers, their own AI lead accounts, where they just post those videos generated by AI, like full time. And this could work really well. And they can just boost the promotions with it, with ads, etc.
Well, the brands are going to do it, but the brands who don't have the time, the resources, they can
just use some solution.
They're going to go through you.
Most of them will probably don't have time, or would if they're not big enough, they probably don't want to spend too much money on this.
It's not their core business, but then they can go to Stormy. Okay, cool. You talked about even lower than 5K followers. It was really nano, micro influence. I'm guessing you don't want 100 followers either. You want sort of a critical mass. It used to be, and probably still is, a big trend. Do you think there's also power shifting back to the big influencers, or do you think the future is all micro influencers?
Oh, I feel like the big influencers are definitely in trouble. Like no one cares about them until they're consistently producing incredible content. No one really cares about you. So because for the social systems right now, they don't boost your posts unless you actually promote something really cool. So you can be still very small and you can get millions of views. If you're really big, you don't have guarantee. You have a little bit higher chance, but you don't have any guarantees of actually going viral. So usually this is why brands go after nana in like very small influencers.
Wow. Okay. What are the platforms that the obvious ones that everyone knows and talks about is Instagram and TikTok?
Yeah.
Do you see other, like I'm very bullish on YouTube, for example.
Yeah.
I'm becoming quite interested in Substack right now. But like, what do you do? You see some other platforms emerging?
No, I feel like short form content is definitely going to be the TikTok. I think Meta is going to die, continue dying. The ByteDance revenue is already more than Meta's. ByteDance revenue is more than Meta's.
Really?
So Meta is earning less money than ByteDance.
You mean overall, or just on the video content?
Oh, like ByteDance as a company. So not just the TikTok, but like as a general, the ByteDance.
But is it Meta as a company as well? Like everything, including Facebook? Wow,
including
I didn't
the
know
ads.
that.
Yes.
That's crazy.
It happened like 2 weeks ago. Someone posted this.
Wow.
And it's actually true. Like TikTok, like the parent company of the TikTok is earning more money than Meta.
Okay. So you think Meta's done?
I think it's not done. It's going to be here. I think it's losing
slow
positions.
Yeah,
yes. I mean, I don't know a single person who uses Facebook. Do you?
Well, yes, my dad.
Yeah, that's right.
But what about Instagram though? People use Instagram anymore?
No, people definitely use Instagram. Okay. But I feel like
it's
for the
really
short form
TikTok,
content,
right?
for the short form content, everyone understands that it's not Instagram. Instagram is more like the personal, some trust.
Yeah.
But TikTok is actually where you like scroll through this stuff, and like this is how the Gen Z use it. So I think the TikTok is definitely going to be a win here.
Are you in trouble if TikTok gets banned in the US?
No. I mean, China is still big enough.
Okay. Yeah, you're an international product, right?
I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we have like everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Very cool. Yeah. Wow. If you crack the Chinese market, is your website available in Chinese now?
Actually, I should make it available in Chinese.
Yeah.
And it'll be really, really big.
You should. I've heard there's kind of a lot of people there.
Yeah, there is definitely a lot of people there.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. And so still on the sort of the influencer world, how do you think it shifts in the next few years? So there's the AI sort of revolution.
UGC stuff.
The micro become bigger and bigger. What else do you see on in the 5 years, which is an eternity from today, at this pace which is going?
I think it's going to be all AI. I feel like humans will occasionally post some stuff on TikTok, but AI will produce content so much better than them. Humans will basically be humans will use AI and make better posts than they could have done themselves. Because AI helps you with editing, AI helps you with like the generation, cool effects, and I feel like humans are definitely going to lose their positions and a lot of jobs. I would never bet on humans. I would bet on them basically being a wrapper around AI tools.
Wow.
If the AI tools will not be even sophisticated even more. I feel like your feed is going to be all like super personalized content, of course. The amount of content is going to be like exponentially much larger. And if you go open the TikTok right now, there's already so many VO3 generated videos there. Yeah. And I think it's just only going to grow. Yeah. And you just will have better content quality because it's going to be much harder to go like viral and create something amazing. So the quality is going to increase.
That's crazy.
The human share in this is going to also decrease. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen to humans.
Yeah, we'll still be consuming the content, not creating.
You'll be consuming for sure, and you'll be buying stuff, some candies from TikTok, some goods from
Do you believe? I think it's David Lieb from YC who said each TikTok feed, each video will be sort of instantly at the moment of your swipe generated just for one user. Each video will be just generated specifically for you and targeted exactly at you and your personality.
I feel like this becomes true if you have so much content, because if you have it's still hard to generate super viral videos because you need creativity, and I don't think AI is there. I'm not sure it's going to be there in 5 years, but I think there's a high chance it's going to be there in 5 years. But I think there's going to be just such a big, enormous amount of content on TikTok. Next video will be just so personalized for you out of all of this big distribution that you'll not feel a difference whether it's just for you or whether it's like out of general distribution.
For a couple people, really, but very, very personal. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so, of course, the next question is, where does Stormy fit into this? If everything is AI generated, we're just here sort of consuming content, but you said humans are going to be shrinking. and so where is your service fitting in there?
Yeah, well, the brands will definitely need to generate their own videos, right? They'll need to put something for themselves on the platform to get promoted with. And those videos will have to be always different. They have to be unique, different perspectives, woman, man, like, I don't know, Asia, whatever. All of those like different parameters which can matter if you want to target some specific audience, because maybe you'll trust a female with the red hair more than a male from, I don't know, from Europe. So they will definitely need this like generator, which is like specialized for them, who like tests the hypothesis 24/7 for what is going to work and what is like about to work.
Is this where you're taking the company?
Yeah, I think like the VO3 is just not there yet, but we're definitely thinking a lot about this.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Okay. So that's the future. What do you think is the next big step for you to build? Is it the testing engine or is it the generating video engine or both? What are you building first?
No, I think it's definitely going to be the generation stuff, because you can just feel the feedback. You can just see whether it works or not. You can test it from your account. So it's definitely going to be like the engine which generates the good video.
How do you prepare for this? So, you said it's not there yet today. This is where you're taking the company. Every morning you wake up and you go to work and you're building towards the future. It's not there yet. How do you sort of make your company ready for this? Because it's coming, this is where you want to go. You can't really build it today, but of course you want to be ready the minute it's your time to just So how do you think about this on a daily basis?
I'm just thinking, what tools will I need when it's going to be there, and how much different will it be, and what should I not build today and spend too much time, so I can like understand what I should like cut. And like, for example, over optimization, because let's say VO3 has some problem and I need to like over optimize on this problem. I don't want to spend too much time doing this, because I know that VO4 is going to come out like in 2 months or 3 months, I don't know when, and it's going to be like just substantially better, and this will not be a problem anymore. So I'm like thinking a lot about what will not be like, what will be missing in the future compared to today, and I'm just like cutting those like rudimentary components which are going to be gone soon. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you know, people were building, for example, there was this trend for people building LLMs which are transforming text to JSON really fast, but this is a problem only with GPT-3. And then GPT-4 with structured output came out. All those startups are kind of dead, and you don't want to build in this space, but you want to build in something where with better models you're becoming stronger and stronger. So GPT-6 comes out, you're stronger. VO4 comes out, you're stronger. VO5 comes out, you're even stronger. And if it's the other way, then probably it's better to build a business upon it.
I love this topic. It's a topic people talk about a lot. It's a topic my investors in my fund, Lobster Capital, ask me about a lot. Is how do you make sure this investment you're making is not irrelevant in 2 years? And what you just said, I think, is the answer I give them. So we reach the same conclusion: is every model should make you stronger and not weaker. It should be something that's sort of almost independent of the model. The model is just powering you. And so where do you think, for, let's take your example, obviously for Stormy AI, I have a bunch of ideas of where you should build. Where do you think the value lies for you? What should you build or capture, or what are you building on top of the model that's really unique and valuable in your case, in your opinion?
Could you rephrase the question? What do you mean by...
Well, so of course, you're not competing with the models.
No.
Your idea is to build a company that, as the models improve, you get stronger. But so you have to ask yourself, what am I building in my company that's valuable if it's not the model?
Yeah, like the moat. This is what you're asking. Okay.
Let's call it the moat. So what do you think? And again, I have some ideas of what your moat is and is going to be, but I'd like to hear it from you. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
What do you think is the moat?
I think there is a couple of possible ones. I'll not say some of them, but for example, having something or like a social component could be a very cool moat, where people can share some cool videos with each other and basically like recreate them. I think like there is a company called Hicksfield, which is really good with FX effects, and they're like super viral on Twitter right now. And their, for example, mode is that they have like a big template gallery of all effects, and you can just click and it creates a video for you in this specific effect. For example, someone's hat's blowing up, or the weather is getting like a storm. And just having some of the components which are generated by the community is very interesting. For example, I think the most obvious mode is obviously the sales, where you're a lot present on social media, and you just have a lot of people in the pipeline, and you're talking to all of them, and you're making yourself socially present, and basically people just see you, and they have more tendency to trust you because they see you so many times, and they have more tendency to try your product and pay for you because like, oh, this is the guy, I can trust him. So I feel like those two is the ones I'm thinking a lot about. There's a couple more. Yeah,
I agree. Those are very good. Building communities. It's N squared. Viral effect, because people share content, etc. And the social media. You've been talking about the social media several times. At the very beginning, you said it's one of the ways to get a good traction at demo day, get customers. Now you're talking about it again. So and that's how you got started on Twitter with the virality. So I'm guessing we're going to see more of you on social media.
Yeah, that's right.
That would be a good time to plug. Where can people follow you?
Exactly. I mean, on LinkedIn, you can just follow me. Oh my God, my surname is really hard to spell, but I guess you can put it in a text or in the links. But yeah, my name is Robert Lukoszko, and I post a lot of stuff, like usually on Twitter, on LinkedIn, where just like some posts where I go to some hackathon, or I meet up with friends and I just like make a post a cool story about how this happened, or I play poker. You do. I love poker.
Yeah, very cool.
So that's usually the best places.
Do you yourself try to post on TikTok and Instagram? Is that you want to sort of learn how to be an influencer as well, or?
Yeah, I did this for some time for my previous product, and it was pretty fun. But I feel like once we're going to go more into this AI UGC direction, we're going to definitely post a lot of stuff for ourselves and just like seeing firsthand experiments and seeing what grows, what doesn't grow. And yeah.
What do you think is the most underrated founder skill?
I feel like having a hunch. I feel like everyone is trying to like say, yeah, you should be like, have like a lot of stuff right now is like perseverance, that you should stay at one topic. But I feel like there is something deeper that you should kind of have this like, almost like a smell for what is the best thing to do. Like this sense of like, oh, this is the area I should go into. This is the hunch I have. This is like the thing of the future, which I need to build. And you don't have this from the customer interviews, you just have this from your knowledge, from your like maybe previous experience, and you kind of just feel it. And I feel like having a hunch is like one of the, I think, very underrated right now. And it's pretty hard to develop it, let's be honest. Like most of the people, they just try to talk to customers and figure out what to build, like having a numbers game. Like, okay, they talk to 30 people, 10 had this problem, 5 are ready to pay, we should build this.
Yeah.
That's a great thing to build a company which is going to earn money and you'll get to probably $1 million ARR. But this will not get you very far because you should be able to build this for like a decade or 5 years, and you should feel like an internal hunch to keep going. Then it's hard, and it's going to get hard at some point. Like it's going to get very hard. And I feel like people are just not thinking enough about this.
I agree. And if you think of the very big successes and founders, Zuckerberg had this vision of a connected world. Musk obviously has this vision of going to Mars. But you're right, it's rare. And so that's, do you then sort of disagree with YC when they say talk to your customers? Or do you think it's right for the not talented enough founders, or if you're talented enough, you should, like, how do you think? Because it's pretty contrarian to everything YC says, and you just did YC and you're doing great. So, there's no question there. But how do you make those two work together?
I feel like you should talk to a lot of customers just like in general, like having them as friends or hanging out in their locations and just noticing things and creating like your sense of what do they do. And then just basically trying to come up with like what do you think is going to be very interesting to do in this sense. So not like trying to brute force the solution to the problem, but rather try to, jump in a cold pool and try to feel like how is it inside, and try to get the feeling of how do these people feel. Then just trying to first principles derive what is the best thing you can do there, and like get this sense, okay, they have this. Oh, I know that there is like a separate technology from a different company I saw in completely different market I can reuse. What if this could happen and I can combine this? This could be very interesting. Let's explore.
Yeah, that's the vision. It's really cool. What you're saying is talk to your customers regardless, but don't just listen blindly and just execute. Otherwise, you're not a founder, you're just a contractor building what they want.
Yes.
You have to bring your own vision, your own experience, your own everything to do it. Okay, that's awesome. Well, before we wrap, so people should come and follow you on Twitter and LinkedIn.
Yes.
Anything you want to talk about Stormy AI? Where can people try it? Are you launching a new something new in the near future?
Yes. So if someone is interested to find influencers on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, you can go to stormy.ai and search. We have the best search engine to do this, the best outreach engine to do this, and you can set up AI agents to communicate with influencers for you. And soon we're launching basically the AI UGC stuff, and this is going to be very interesting. So we can run this for the brands, and they can basically automate the whole pipeline with us.
Very exciting. Are you going to make a lot of companies, a lot of millions just by using the tool? Because by the way, influencer marketing works just so well. We haven't sort of touched on that, but the results are insane.
Yes.
So for companies, actually, let me drive some customers to you. You're here. For companies who haven't tried it, if you have a B2C product, even does it work in B2B as well?
The YouTube, for example, you can find the people who talk about B2B sales on YouTube, and you can find them. You can sell your tool.
Really cool. So try stormy.ai. Robert, thank you so much for being here. I had a blast.
Thank you for having me.
That was awesome. And to our listeners, if you're still here, and you should, because this was fascinating, please subscribe on our YouTube channel, turn on the notification bell, leave us a 5-star review on the favorite podcast platform if you haven't done so already. It really does help help us keep going here. And you can check out my solo channel. Just type Gabriel Jarrison in the YouTube search bar. I'll see you next week with another amazing YC founder. Bye, everyone.
Leave those likes.